It's like being raped when these people pretend to be journalists and then they just completely make up whatever they want. Completely make up whatever they want. And they use props. People that are like, well, Alex Jones is a villain. Alex Jones is a bad guy. So we'll say he wears swastika shoes. That was an EEOC complaint. No proof, got dropped. Totally false. I mean, if you ever catch me wearing swastika shoes, that's when you need to shoot me.
InfoWars, tomorrow's news today.
Well, President Trump just minutes ago declared a national emergency, taking back executive power from the usurper, Nancy Pelosi. And ABC's Empire Star is very close to being criminally charged. They've already got who they believe are his accomplices in staging the event in a city like Chicago under total surveillance. Jesse Smollett staged attack. That's what the police believe. Well, of course he did. West Point, the Marine Corps training facilities, the Army training facilities, all of them have the exact same staged event in the barracks and at the vending machines saying no N-words allowed. And it's all done under orders of the whole network of the Democratic Party. They are encouraged to do it. And now that they've demonized me in the news, I'm going to talk about this later, not because it's about me, because it's so illustrative. John Ronson, I've known 20 years, and who acts all nice and friendly, but then every time doesn't deliver on what he says he'll do. Super manipulative. And I told him, I said, I know you're manipulating people, but I'll go on your NPR show, because it does have 5 million listeners. And they have been camped out in Rockwall, Texas, where I'm from, I guess for months off and on, canvassing everybody. And then they get me on the interview that they're going to in a couple of weeks and literally make up whole cloth in stories. And guess what? I know Ronson learned the truth. I've got his text messages. I think I'm going to make a mini documentary out of this. He's like, oh, it's like Wild Wild West, pretty incredible stuff, pretty incredible stories. And I'm like, oh, so you did go talk to people. I'm not bragging. I don't live back in high school. Couldn't wait to get out of high school. I didn't particularly dislike it. I had college friends. I guess I'm already getting into this story. And Ronson was working on this theory that I was this loner and unhappy, and that's why I'm this bad person. And, you know, like psychopaths, I guess, have bad, upbringings or whatever. He's written a book about that. It's like a sociopaths are always trying to understand themselves. And then they project it onto you. And at the end of the interview, he goes, I know this has been traumatic. I apologize, Alex. I know your childhood was traumatic, and it's okay if you need to call me and you need to break down or anything. And I know they're going to edit it. So I recorded the whole thing with video, audio, everything. And I told him that as well. I don't think he was listening. At the end, I go, I recorded this. He goes, you did, Alex. So I'm going to get to that later. I'm going to get to the national emergency and all the big news. It's just, I never do mainstream interviews, but I have this thing for people I've known a long time. And Ronson is a smart and interesting guy, but come on, Alex, you're such a powerful and important person. Please do the interview. It's very nice, the story. It's actually uplifting and wild, wild west. And I mean, I've got all the text messages. And I'm like, dude, you're manipulating me, telling me I'm powerful and I'm important. I said, there's no way you're going to tell any of the real stories, because they make me look like John Wayne. And I'm not bragging. It's just, It was very rough high school. A lot of people starting fights, and I was in hundreds of fights. People attacked me starting in 5th grade, hundreds of times. Kids that were 2 or 3 grades, out of school. And like I said, when I was in 6th grade, there were a lot of kids with mustaches. They'd go around and beat people up in school and do nothing because they were minorities. That means God. And so the white kids all got to be beaten up. And see, that's why I'm the bad racist, you see. I'm the person that's been racially attacked, let's not exaggerate, 100 times. And they didn't pick any of the racial attacks. They picked a fight with I guess the term would be redneck or roper. They picked one of those fights and then totally misrepresented what happened to make me the villain, and then made up some other wild story. And the reason I bring this up is it's like being raped when these people pretend to be journalists and then they just completely make up whatever they want. Completely make up whatever they want. And they use props. People that are like, well, Alex Jones is a villain. Alex Jones is a bad guy. So we'll say he wears swastika shoes. That was an EEOC complaint. No proof, got dropped. Totally false. I mean, if you ever catch me wearing swastika shoes, that's when you need to shoot me. Hitler was a horrible loser. He destroyed Europe. He killed 20 million Germans, not to mention 20-something million Russians and millions of Jews and people. I mean, I'm just so sick of Hitler. And I'm sick of hearing I'm associated with Hitler. And I'm sick of all the racist minorities pointing their finger at white people and saying, we're the bad people. It's disgusting. And the left are the ones fueling it. The average, quote, minority just wants to live their life. They're good people. But I knew exactly what Brett Kavanaugh felt like. But they were saying that he raped women. And then all these other women came out later when they got charged, said, okay, I just made it up. You know, it's political. The truth is, I know people that know Kavanaugh. I checked into it. They go, dude, that dude was a virgin when he got married. Ultra super nerd. Mr. First in class every test. Mr. Study 20 hours for every test. I know the type. It's not a bad type. My son is obsessed with making a perfect grade on the SAT. I mean, he's not Kavanaugh level, Leave It to Beaver, but he's close. I'm like, my God, my son's like Leave It to Beaver. This is wonderful. He wins all the speech awards. He's very outgoing. He takes girls out on dates, but, he's not even going to, kiss them or anything until he gets serious and in college. And I'm like, well, 30 years ago, I'd say that guy's a wimp. I'd say, man, I'm proud of my son. The point is, imagine Kavanaugh, where he's all about his whole life is straight lace. His whole life is executing by the book, and that's his whole value. And then these people come along and just make all this crap up, and they sit there knowing it's made up, knowing the truth. Knowing the truth. And they don't want anything to do with it. It's like Louis Gohmert, congressman from Texas, told Sundar Pichai, he said, you wouldn't know the light if you saw it because you've never seen it. You don't know what light is. Now, I was wild. I was out of control. I was a hellion. I wasn't like a criminal, but I was a hellion. And thank God I made it out of it by about 16 and a half. But the point is, they don't want any of that truth. They just want to make stuff up. And again, I know everyone knows it, but until you experience the premeditated lying. I mean, take Megyn Kelly. She says, it's not about Sandy Hook. I want to know about, you're so interesting, and about your family and about your divorce and what you've gone through. She gets here. It's all about Sandy Hook. I say Sandy Hook happened. She edits it to have me say it happened so they could sue me. She's a damn lawyer. And I'm just saying, folks, you don't understand the level until you experience the premeditated fraud of these people. Until you experience the fact that you give an interview to the New York Times, ABC News, NPR, they're going to lie because that's who they are. It's what they do. They can't do anything else. And we have to get it through our head These people are the enemy.
Getting your protein has never been easier with InfoWars Life Protein Bars. Available in delicious chocolate peanut butter and vanilla coconut flavors, these protein bars are the perfect answer for a snack on the go. InfoWars Life Protein Bars are nutrient-packed, portable protein bars for an easy-to-eat and great-tasting meal. Pre- or post-workout fuel alternative. At just 240 calories per bar and 15 grams of protein each, these bars will be your favorite at-hand snack for at home, in the car, at work, or on the go, for getting nutrients easily. High in fiber and nutrients with wholesome ingredients for high-level performance with great taste, such as whey protein and chocolate compounds. These protein bars can help you with the boost you need to reach your goals. Protein-packed and full of fiber and healthy ingredients, InfoWars Life Protein Bars are a can't-miss snack for any InfoWarrior serious about their energy. Try both flavors today at InfoWarsStore.com.